سعيد جدا بتواجدي معكم اليوم في هذا المحفل العلمي الكبير الذي يجمع مجموعة من الخبراء والباحثين، كل بموقفه وكل من مكانه، لنتقاسم معا ونتشارك معا مجموعة من الأوراق البحثية العلمية في ما يخص الذكاء الاصطناعي والبيئات الذكية، والتي تحتضنه مدينة الرشيدية، مدينة العلم والعلماء والرياضيات والخوارزميات. في هذا اللقاء سأتكلم عن كتاب صدر لي مؤخرا عن دار النشر تايلور اند فرانسيس روتليدج المعروفة، وهي دار للنشر محكمة جدا بالعالم. وهنا كتابي الذي تناولته فيه موضوع التدبير المندمج بين الإدارات العمومية من أجل الرفع من الحكامة الجيدة. يعني كباحث وكأستاذ قمت بالكتابة والنشر في مجموعة من المجلات يعني الوطنية أيضا، وتناولت هذا الموضوع وهو موضوع الحكومة الإلكترونية في قلب التنمية المستدامة. من خلاله يعني انطلقت في البحث عن آليات التدبير المندمج بين الإدارات، وهنا أقدم أول ظهور للإدارة الإلكترونية بالمغرب الذي يرجع إلى سنة 1995، ثم تتطور الإدارات يعني لنصل إلى تدبير مندمج في سنة 2001، ثم المغرب الرقمي سنة 2013، ولنصل الآن إلى ما يسمى بالتدبير المندمج الإلكتروني بين كل الإدارات العمومية. في هذا الكتاب يعني رصدت كل مشاركاتي في هذا المجال ومرافعاتي وكل تدخلاتي من أجل أن تكون هناك إدارة حكيمة مبنية على تجويد وتقديم أحسن الخدمات للمرتفق والمواطن في المكاتب الأمامية. وهنا أقول أنه لا يمكن أن تكون هناك إدارة متطورة ترقى لجودة الخدمات وفعالية الخدمات ونجاعة الخدمات إن لم يكن هناك تدبير محكم مندمج يعتمد على أحدث الوسائل التقنية ICTs في الباك أوفيس، يعني في المكاتب الخلفية. هو التقديم يعني خدمة متطورة في المكاتب الأمامية هو مرهون بتنظيم كل آليات التدبير بين المكاتب الخلفية. تكلمت في هذا الكتاب عن تاريخ الإدارة العمومية بالمغرب الذي تطور وتدرج عبر الزمن من مسجد القرويين أو جامع القرويين الذي وضع اللبنة الأولى للإدارة العمومية بالمغرب لعصر أو زمن الحماية وقدوم المستعمر إلى عهد المغفور له الحسن الثاني، الملك الحسن الثاني رحمه الله، ثم إلى عهد التنمية والنهضة بزمن الملك محمد السادس نصره الله. لكون هذا يعني الملتقى هو ملتقى علمي وعالمي، excuse me and allow me please to speak in English and introduce the details of my book that I have published in Taylor and Francis. It's a very indexed book that is based and draws back on the survey of the international nations in 2014, in which we have this, which developed for us this model of e-government throughout history, throughout the development of internet, from its beginning, when we have like this emerging web presence. You have witnessed how the web was only like not static, not moving. To the enhanced web presence, then the transactional presence, in which we have like the seamless integration, improved interoperability between government, citizens, government to governments, then government to businesses, and government to employees, okay? Then we move to the connected presence, in which we have this e-government 2.0. Now the trend is moving forward by the use of artificial intelligence that we can have, and we are speaking now about 3.0 and moving to 4.0, which is a very sophisticated way of using internet and artificial intelligence. Now that we can speak about governance 4.0, we can speak about education 4.0, and all the fields, health and transportation, and so on. So the United Nations in 2014, they said, if we manage to work in an interoperable mechanism and back office, we can increase different variables of good governance, which are effectiveness, responsiveness, simplification of administration and procedures. We can have some cost effectiveness and time saving. We can have citizen trust, and we can have decentralization, transparency, and collaboration, according to what we call strategic vision. So there is a list, abundant ethics that we can augment, and we can augment in this section. So here the study, I was looking for an integrated system between different public administrations. I found that the most successful software in Morocco that ties and integrates different public administrations is what we call GID, Gestion Intégrée de la Dépense Publique au Maroc. This is one of the most sophisticated softwares that can connect different sectors of public administrations. We have the local municipalities, we have the provinces, the wilayas, the health, the hospitals, all the sectors are integrated, and they are managing expenditure management through this application. Okay? So what I did first, because I don't have what we call a scale, I don't have a questionnaire to measure the effects of e-government on good governance. So I need to prepare a skeleton, like a scale, a measurement. Then I resorted to NVivo, which I have informed Mr. Imad about the software. It's a qualitative software for data analysis. I have entered all the files, all the PDFs, all the videos, all the newsletters that speak about this software in Morocco. So, and generated like a word cloud that specifies what the things the GID is for in Morocco. The software wants to augment and improve these qualities. Vous voyez donc la modernisation budgétaire, la transparence, la responsabilisation, le contrôle. These are themes that were relevant because the documents that were analyzed, most of them, they were in French. That's why we have this output. I organized through NVivo, because at the time I didn't have access to Python, so I used the NVivo for data analysis and for word analysis. So it's abundant text with branches, with sentences, and it turns it into themes, to major themes appearing in the study, and organizes the themes, which will give me a general idea about the things I have to work on to build my skeleton, to build my study and my questionnaire. From this skeleton, I draw like a clear and cut, valid, reliable measurement model to measure the effects of interoperability, l'interopérabilité entre les bureaux, les offices, et l'intégration électronique, and their effects on good governance, la bonne gouvernance. Prenons 12 variables de bonne gouvernance. You can see decentralization, effectiveness, cost effectiveness, transparency, accountability, until you reach the rule of law. These are the variables that most of the documents speak about, and they are the same that were developed by the United Nations in their report. So till now I don't have I have just a skeleton. I don't have like the items I can ask the people or the administrations to respond about. So I resorted to focus groups. This is an occasion as well for the student to see the methodology for what we call exploratory study, in which you don't have a measurement, because there is a difference between what we call explanatory design and exploratory design. Une étude exploratoire. ما عندكش l'outil. Donc, vous êtes en train de préparer واحد l'outil. Très bien. Which means here, I resorted to focus groups and ask them different questions and collected the data, and I came back also again to NVivo, in which I have entered all the data, and it's give me like what we call the trees, the word trees. It organizes the data in trees, and it makes it for me very easy and simple to analyze the data, relying on the branches and the sentences to design a questionnaire and the measurement at the end. Very good. So the measurement I have developed is very original and very international. Why? But before I do this, or after I do these things, I tested my measurements using factor analysis. I hope that some statisticians are among us so that you can evaluate the tools used here. So I used what we call exploratory factor analysis to see really if the 12 variables developed, do they really represent good governance? Do they really enter under the umbrella of good governance? This is the technique. And the same thing for the eGovernment using interoperability and integration. Here you can see the line on the eigenvalue superior than 1, which means that really there are one variable, and then you have 2 variables there. Very good. So they tested the scale and its indexes through what we call convergent validity, and you can see that the loadings here, the loadings are very perfect, which means the loadings are good, and there is an internal validity between the indexes. يعني كاين تماسك في المقياس. After the internal, I went for the cross-loading test, so to see that the indexes I have developed in the measurement, they are not repeating each other. Which means, for example, if I ask the question about transparency, one question that I asked is not repeated again in accountability, for example, in another variable. So you can see that the loadings are perfect. For decentralization, what I get as an output is that what is good in the study and what makes it pertinent and valid and consistent is that it developed an international scale that is valid, that you can measure in an integrated system between administrations using the skeleton. تشد هذا الكيستيونير ديالي وتخويه بلي دوني ديالو وتسقطو على اي سيستيم انتيغري. Prenons les banques par exemple, l'interopérabilité entre les banques. C'est un système you can measure the effectiveness of good governance of the system using these standards. They are international and validated by Routledge, in which I have published my book by experts. For example, if we're decentralization, the system you need to ask about, does it empower local entities to make decisions? Does it localize control, which means does it give authority to local offices? Okay? It decreases reliance on central administration. So we don't always rely on the central administration. نمشيو ديما للرباط باش يعطيونا نمشيو للرباط. Donc we can have some local decision making. A unified platform and managing of public funds. دابا لا جيستيون ديال لا ديبونس بوبليك au Maroc c'est localisé. Okay, so it's localized. So in a system, in terms of efficiency and effectiveness, النجاعة والفعالية. Donc كنسمعوا ديما في الفازة. It's effectiveness, efficiency, l'efficience, l'efficacité. You need to measure these items using 3 items. On the level of productivity promotion, on the level of stakeholder objectives, and on the level of expenditure dematerialization and risk reduction. These are the 4 items you need to look about. For example, for le cost, minimiser les coûts. Minimiser les coûts, the integrated systems between administration can do this. Because we don't have papers, ما عندناش الوراق, ما عندناش le gasoil, ماشي نصيفط الشيفور يسني هاد بوردورو يرجع هذا. Donc à chaque fois tu es dépendant de l'administration centrale. So it reduces the cost. We speak now about la signature électronique, okay? So it's very useful and you can measure this technique or this variable on its paperwork reduction. Il a minimisé le papier. حنا نقصنا من les ressources. Travel cost reduction and acquisition savings. We have made enough acquisitions. Transparency, la transparence. It's very good point that we now the systems la gestion du budget, it becomes very transparent on the systems. Les transactions bayni ma كاينش غموض, il n'y a pas d'ambiguïté dans la gestion. Très bien. So it's public expenditure and budget transparency, expenditure acts, government procurement, all of them, they become now transparent. And when we speak about transparency, we speak about accountability. La responsabilisation. C'est pas la responsabilité, mais c'est la responsabilisation. تحميل المسؤولية أو المساءلة والمحاسبة. So when we speak about accountability, we speak about electronic time stamping. Time stamping, c'est le redatage du système. Le redatage, c'est donc l'action, chaque action est devenue traçable selon un système qui s'appelle le redatage, l'action eurodatée. À chaque fois que le système, كموظف عندك username, عندك password authentication, which means كتولي داخل بالكونت ديالك اوتوماتيكمون متبوع باي اكسيون درتيها. نفلطها بالكبوط. Okay, so this is what we call electronic time stamping. It's increased on the integrated systems, and we have like task division, and we have horizontal accountability and vertical accountability. La responsabilisation verticale et horizontale. المحاسبة الأفقية سي كنديروا لوديت انترن بيناتنا قبل ما تنزل لوديت علينا. دونك وي دو لايك لوديت انترن بيناتنا، شوف واش عندك هادشي، شوف واش لو بابي الفلاني، وشوف. دونك لي سيستيم they augment the way we are auditing each other on the applications. Participation. So the integrated systems increase the participation of local offices in decision making. دابا الجماعات المحلية، المقاطعات، العمالات ممكن انهم يدخلوا في لا بارتيسيباسيون ويعطيونا الرأي ديالهم using commands on the applications, using sentiment analysis as I have mentioned with Saïmad. So it increases participation and responsiveness. La responsiveness. ما وليناش نهضروا على لو retard في les actions ou les transactions سواء بين الإدارة والموظف أو الإدارة والمرتفق. Responsiveness, la réactivité. كاين واحد لا réactivité كتزيد السرعة ديالها. And we have like electronic consultation, communication, technical support and real-time processing. ما يمكنش تشد انت دابا ملف وتنعس عليه وتخليه في الإدارة عندك في البيرو تقول أنا ما دونك فوالا. دونك لو سيستيم كيتبعك تيقول لك راه خديتي لابليكاسيون ولا لو دوسيي تال كان لا دات هذا، دونك عطينا لا ريبونس ديالك. Très bien. Donc, strategic vision, we have like la vision stratégique. Why? Because we have dashboards, we have data. عندنا بحال داكشي البورصة. We have clean and clear statistics on which we can build real and exact decision making. This is what it's good in this integrated systems. And like we have like this la coordination fluide, like the seamless coordination between offices. It's كتزيد السرعة ديالها. And Saïmad and Si Ahmed yesterday they spoke about the security of la sécurité des données and the data. ما بقاش شي واحد سرق لي الملف الفلاني من البيرو ولا، because you have all your data, all your information is secured and it's there, it's protected because of the high authentication systems that we have on this integrated system. And the rule of law, it's the last variable developed by the integrated systems, is that we don't have this different translation to the rules. ماشي كل واحد كيلغي بالغاه وعنده قراءة ديالو للقوانين. هناك قراءة موحدة في القوانين because these we have عندنا فيزيون بورنينغ كيعطيوك كاين لو سيستيم كيملي عليك الاملاءات شنو خاصك دير. you don't have ما عندكش كيدير تجتهد ولا تقول انا قريت هكا كان كيسحاب لي. لا no, the integrated system they say look you do this and this and this and this. We have like legal text interpretation, we have ethical influence, and there is a fairness in the action and like power and the abuse of law. الشطط في استعمال السلطة is directed, مقنن when we use systems. La banque. So I speak about the private and public sectors, both of them. This is just a case of study and integrity between the administration. What it's beautiful here, we speak about this integrity between offices, and we speak about what we call the whole of government approach, l'approche pan-gouvernementale. We speak about التوجه المندمج ونلغي التوجه الانفرادي تاع المؤسسات. كل مؤسسة كتجري داكشي بوحدها. Okay? And we speak about interoperability, between the systems. Ça, c'est l'interopérabilité. Here I have measured as well my survey, which measures the effect of e-government on good governance using Smart PLS, which is a very sophisticated software which can do regression analysis, l'analyse de régression between many variables x on different variables y. Donc كيدير هاد الدقة واحدة. PLS can solve this issue because like linear regression cannot do this. So you can see the loadings, they are very perfect, which means that there is an effect, كاين effet. ما كنهضروش على la corrélation, l'association entre deux variables, mais we speak about regression analysis. Very good. So I will skip all this data. So here also, what's beautiful in the study is that it's improved that there is effect between good governance variables. ماشي غير l'effet entre l'intégration, mais l'e-gov or good governance, but effect between good governance variables. Why? Because the PLS indicated upon the response of the feedback of the administrators that the more we increase, for example, administrative simplification, we increase responsiveness. And the more we increase, for example, decentralization, there is an efficiency. And the more we increase transparency, there is accountability. كل ما رفعنا من لا ترونسبارونس كنقدو نقولوا كاينه محاسبه ريسبونسابيليزاسيون. سي لوجيك. علاش؟ لا انت خدام في الغموض لو بابيي وكي غادي دير تحاسب الناس والتلاعب بالارقام والتلاعب اوكي. Donc, lorsque vous travaillez dans l'ambiguïté, c'est difficile d'avoir une transparence ou bien une responsabilisation totale. D'accord. Donc, it's very logic here, as the study indicated, that there is effect between variables. And good governance is like a package. It's like a package, a beautiful package that is embroidered with beautiful colors. C'est un paquet. Lorsque vous parlez de la bonne gouvernance, c'est un paquet. كيمشي كله ما يمكنش نعزلوا شي فاريابل بوحده على الاخر. très bien. So I think we have time. So 5 minutes. So here the study gives like the performance important analysis indicating what are the variables that are more important or more performant according to the other variables. For example, as I told you, transparency is very important and performant according to accountability. Donc, إلا بغينا نهضروا على la responsabilisation, على المساءلة والمحاسبة, خصنا تكون نجاح تكون une transparence totale في السيستم. يعني نصيفط لك ورقه نعرف شنو صيفط لك باش تقدر تحاسبني. Très bien. So I would skip all the data. It's very technical here, and I would like to say thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Said, for the very interesting presentation. I will profit of this presentation to congratulate you for the new book. I hope that the actual context will benefit from the very interesting studies that are presented in this book. Really, it's very interesting matching between the administrative government and the tools that will promote the use of the real good government.
Encourage the public to buy the book. It's not expensive. It costs only $88.
It's not expensive, really. Donc I encourage all of public to buy this book. Yeah, it's very interesting. Here I will ask you if there is some question.
أولا وقبل كل شيء شكرا. لا من الفخر لي أن أكون هنا حاضرة لسماع آخر بحثات رجل عظيم له وزن علمي في البلاد. سؤالي هو: ألا ترى أن الاعتماد على التقنيات العلمية أو ما يسمى بالداتا أناليتيك يمحو الهوية الإبداعية للإنسان؟ أي يعني عندما كما قلت ملي غيكون عندنا واحد الملف ما غاديش نقولوا راه تسرق لي ولا راه مشى لي ولا غادي يكون غير في لا داتا وهي اللي غتملي علينا شنو غنديروا. ما كنشوفش بان داك الاملاء ديال انك خصك دير واحد الحاجه محدده غادي يمحي داك الهويه الابداعيه ديال الانسان، وانه داك الجانب الانساني ديال ان واحد الانسان راه خصو واحد المساعده انسانيه، ولكن لا داتا اناليز حد ذاته انه ما خصوش. دونك داك التجانب الانساني راه كيمشي. وشنو هو الراي ديالك؟
Je vais réagir à ce point-là. Cette question, mademoiselle, قضية ديال الإبداع. حينما نتكلم عن التدبير، عن لا جيستيون، هنا نغيب إلى حد ما هذاك الإبداع، لأن
كإنسان فعال في المجتمع غادي تمحى الهويه الابداعيه ديالو. فكنشوف انه عوض ما يعتمدوا كل الاعتماد على لا داتا اناليتيك، انا نعتمدوا اكثر على اننا نخليو القرار لذاك الشخص المسؤول يعني كانسان، ومن بعد هو يسول لا داتا ويشوف واش داك القرار اللي خداه هو الصحيح او لا. اما باش نعتمدوا عليها كليا فكنشوف بانه راه غادي يمحي الهويه الابداعيه ديالو في الحياه اون جينيرال، ماشي غير في لا جيستيون ديالو.
نعم. ربما تتكلمين عن شق معين من استعمال يعني الإبداع في عدة مجالات كالفن إلى غير ذلك، ولكن يعني كلامي أنا هو في التدبير. فيما يخص التدبير فأنا قلتها، أنا البرامج تحدد لك المسارات وهناك خطوط لتتبعها. علاش؟ باش ما يكونش عندنا تأويلات. ربما الاجتهاد هنا بارفوا الاجتهاد في دي شوز اللي هما باينين، حوايج باينين، يتلف يعني فعاليه وجديه في العمل. هذا ما يمكن ان اقوله.
Merci beaucoup, docteur, donc, pour la présentation, la clarté, le choix du topic, c'est très très intéressant. Ma question, elle tourne autour de la résistance au changement. Donc, si j'analyse d'une manière sommaire les parties prenantes dans le process, donc il y a l'État, bien sûr, il y a les cadres du back-office, il y a le client. Les trois parties prenantes, étant donné qu'ils étaient donc, avec un comportement durant des années, donc automatiquement ils vont résister au changement. Qu'est-ce que vous avez prévu pour accélérer l'adoption de ce modèle, que je trouve très pertinent et très performant, par rapport à la dimension résistance au changement des parties prenantes, donc principalement les trois pôles dont j'ai cités. Et merci.
Effectivement, Madame Professeure, c'est une question pertinente. J'ai vécu ça dans mes questions, dans mon sondage électronique ou bien dans mon sondage face à face avec les administrateurs. J'ai constaté ça. Il y a une certaine résistance vis-à-vis le changement électronique. C'est certain. Parce que vous trouvez des administrateurs archaïques dans leur mentalité qui n'acceptent pas ce changement-là parce qu'ils ont une certaine défaillance, j'allais dire, dans ce côté-là. Donc, ils m'informent comme ça. Anna, par exemple, je me rappelle d'un certain voilà, qui m'a dit je suis fort en calcul mental. C'est pas la peine d'utiliser ou bien d'avoir un recours à ce système-là pour m'orienter, pour me dire qu'est-ce que je dois faire. La gestion de résistance, est pertinente ici. Voilà, il y a une certaine résistance que j'ai vécue dans mon parcours académique ou bien dans mon parcours scientifique. Merci beaucoup.
Merci professeur pour votre intervention, ce fut très très intéressant et d'actualité. So, in the 90s, we talked about the computerization of public administration, and today we are talking about digitalization. As we know, the public authorities are already involved in it, but also the public is interested. The systems, the integrated systems are secure and efficient, but if we talk about the high illiteracy rate in Morocco, how can we target this audience? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Professor, for this question. It's very interesting. Illiteracy. I think illiteracy is very pertinent here. And this is related to the question of Madam the Professor from Tunisia. She asked about resistance. And when we speak about resistance, we speak about illiteracy. We need to teach the staff, the managers, how they can use the new skills of technology, and it's very sad when you see the high, the professionality of the speech that we have reached in this conference, the themes, the advance of science, and from the side of les ressortissants, المواطنين العاديين,
accessibility and user experience.
The user experience, they need to be what we call tech savvy. Tech savvy, this is the word. Extrait de naissance, vous pouvez le retirer justement de l'application. C'est simple. Vous minimisez le contact de ressortissants avec l'administration et vous minimisez la corruption. Merci.
Good morning. Thank you for your insights on the important topic. I'd be very grateful if you would share how data localization regulation impacts the deployment of and training, of course, of AI models, especially when large-scale data access is essential for optimal performance. Especially when we are talking about tasks that should be trained on personal data that might be accessed when we handle data stored
You speak about the clouding system?
Yes, partially. But because when we speak about back offices, they use some sort of application that should be trained on personal data. How this could be addressed?
Yes. Maybe this is a very promising field of research for young researchers, said طلبة المهندسين in this field. So that because we are moving, as I told you, we are moving from like governance 3.0 to governance 4.0, in which we are going to use like this integrated AI tools, and we don't have maybe the logistics for this. Saimat can explain well. Because as a technician, as an expert in the field, he can explain how the mechanisms are going to take place. Thank you.
I guess you have responded to my question, and I am very open to this to make some sort of contribution on this topic.
Inshallah, why not?
Very, very good.
The floor is yours. The floor is yours always.
We have the time for two other questions. One for Mr. Ahmed.
Thank you very much, Professor Ahmed. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Said for his high value presentation. It's enough to see the logo of Routledge to have an idea about the quality and of this work.
Thank you very much.
So I just have, it's not quite a very specific question, but it is like a dilemma I would like to suggest to think about. Most of researchers or people working on digitalization or engineer, they are working on how we can automatically provide those services facilitated for both sides, for the employees and the users.
The users, yeah.
So this is will be which emerge something of fighting literacy. Okay, so there is another kind of literacy. What if we are succeeding in teach those people how to use technology, how to be based on those services that are automatically working on, and in the future we have lost some energies, electricity is gone, or the system, as we Moroccans said, is failed.
Yes.
So now, is this employee has the competence to manage this service and do his work manually? Okay, like if بحال اكزومبل ديال شهاده تسديه دابا كندير ابليكاسيون تحت اون بان وهذا راه وارد خصوصا في لافراستركتور الماروكان واش صافي حيدناها صافي باغ اكزومبل 5 بيان 10 ملي حنا خدامين غير بالابليكاسيون ا مومون دوني السيرفور طاح مشيت للبلديه بغيت شهاده تسديه ما نعرف كيف كنعرف
دونك دابا لا ريبونس دابا هي ديما السيرفر طايح ديما ما كاينش السيرفر لا بنك ما كاينش السيرفر وي ايفيكتيفمون
لا تيراسي ان لومبلوي ما يعرفش يديرها مانيويلمون اللي كانت هي نورمالمون كيعرفها الموظف قبل دابا الا كان هاد لو ريسك واش لو ريسك ديال من كيعرف يديرها يرجع يديرها دي فاسون اوتوماتيك هذا كنشوفوا انا اسهل كريسك مقارنه انهم ما كيعرف يديرها غير دي فاسون اوتوماتيك ا باز دو لا ماشين
وي
مين
ايفيكتيفمون
كتخسر لا ماشين وما غاديش يعرف يديرها.
Oui, je vois votre question, monsieur Saïmad. Je vois. Donc, il faut travailler toujours avec un plan A, un plan B. ونخدموا على الاونلاين اوفلاين. يمكن يكون la meilleure réponse pour like what we call the system is always down. We need to develop the online. There is a saying, a famous saying, we are moving from the inline to the online. احنا غاديين كنديروا الصف في المقاطعة and we are moving to the online. But the binary would be effective if we combine between the two. It would be effective. نخدموا بالاوفلاين والاونلاين. It would be better. This is I'm not an expert in your field, but you can give me more feedback about this outside.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
First of all, I would like to thank you, Professor Said, for your informative presentation. I feel so lucky to have this opportunity. Actually, and to be honest, I have a lot of questions, but to respect the time, I will only ask you 2 questions. The rest next time, inshallah. My first question is, how does the government build and maintain public trust in e-government initiatives, especially when it comes to data sharing and transparency? My next question, how does the government ensure that e-government services are accessible to all citizens, including those who may lack digital literacy, who don't know, who don't know how to use application,
Yes,
etc.
yes, effectively. Thank you for your question, Bouteina. Bouteina, she was one of my students. And she was one of my excellent students in Ph.D. In communication in different languages. So, as a response to your question, really this issue, because there is a literature review going back here about the evolvement of e-government in Morocco and in the world. Because here, when we say e-government, it's a good initiative in itself to call and to summon up, pour inviter les gens marginalisés, the marginalized people in the suburbs, في المناطق البعيدة عن connection. It's an occasion for them. If they only have like a connection, they can get the service. This is the philosophy of e-government in itself. We want to overstep over this problem. Concerning the first question of transparency and cost effectiveness, what was your question exactly about transparency?
How does the government build the implementation of the trust in e-governments, especially when it comes to sharing data and transparency?
Yes, e-government is working for data security. La sécurité هي la colonne vertébrale تاع هادشي كله. هو les données يكونوا secure. When we use like a paper-based administration, l'administration basée sur le papier, هنا كاين لو ريسك. أكثر ما كنهضروا على لو ريسك يكون في لي سيستيم انتيغري والناس في المجال المتخصصين they know this very well. Thank you very much.
Very thank for Professor Said for the very interesting talk discussion. I thank all of you for this interaction. I see that this context, this study open the discussion for many corpus, for many works, research works. There are the possibility to work on the AI, also on security. It's a very rich corpus, very rich domain and case study. I thank all of you for your presence, for your question. I thank also Mr. Said for the interaction, and I invite you to the next section, which will be the poster session at the room, I think, in the hall. Thank you very much. Routledge also next time, Mr. Said.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all.